I want to show you the plans and the presentation of a real school district that we have really been watching for a while now, the Cambridge, Massachusetts School District, right down the street from Harvard University. This is not material you're going to see anywhere else, just so you know. I will probably be the only person on the internet reporting on what I'm about to show you. Roadrunner says, please clip and post the last few minutes. I've been trying to convince my friends to homeschool. This may help. I will do my best, Roadrunner. Thank you for that. So, guys, what we're going to see now, this is a real PowerPoint deck from a school committee presentation from the Office for Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging at the Cambridge, Massachusetts Public Schools. I have covered the Cambridge schools extensively on my Substack. In fact, let's go back. Cambridge. I've got this article about a teacher trainer in the Cambridge, Massachusetts public schools believing that we should abolish capitalism and whiteness. She charged, by the way, $32,000 for a weekend of training in the Cambridge, Massachusetts schools in order to convince them of this. I also have this article about the Pride Week that the Cambridge, Massachusetts public schools did for both middle school and high school students. That was one of the presenters they had for Pride Week. No joke. See, this is all Cambridge. This is an adult industry sexpert that they had come speak to the students for Pride Week in the Cambridge, Massachusetts schools. She's literally up for an adult entertainment award. She really doesn't like capitalism. Thinks everyone is racist that doesn't agree with her. Got all her tweets there. They also had this drag performer do a workshop for the kids. That's really nice. I bet that went really well. They also had this queer activist do a presentation for the kids. Again, parents were not allowed to attend any of this. You can find this all on my website, karlyn.substack.com. I am fairly certain I am the only person on the internet to report on any of this. And then here is this was the teacher trainer for the Cambridge, Massachusetts schools, which charged $32,000 for a weekend of training. I found an online video of her saying, being an abolitionist is anti-capitalism because there's a connection between capitalism and slavery. And honestly, to me, that's whiteness. And we have to eradicate whiteness and abolish whiteness as well. So that is your brief introduction to the nightmare that is the Cambridge, Massachusetts School District. I do have parents in that school district send me stuff every so often. And so that's how I got this. And this is their updated report on all of the things that they're doing to affirm the children in Cambridge, Massachusetts, including youth support and affirming them, educator professional learning, family engagement, and partnership. And what I love about this is the Cambridge, Massachusetts schools were so helpful because they gave us a whole roadmap that talks about the evolution of equity work in the Cambridge, Massachusetts schools. So we can see all of the things. I'm going to be doing an article about this on my Substack, but you can find the slides if you want to follow along. I'll pop the Google Docs in the chat. This is their official Google Docs page. So we've got their entire timeline of equity work in the Cambridge, Massachusetts schools, which started in earnest 2016 to 2017. Equity and racial equity are identified as a district policy. In 2017 through 2018, equity and access is identified as a strategic objective. In 2019, they started building out committees on this stuff. In 2019 through 2020, they started creating offices around this stuff. The official Office of Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging was created in 2020. They drafted their initial equity plan in 2021, which is, ironically, about 10 years later than other school districts were drafting their equity plans. So believe it or not, Cambridge, Massachusetts was actually late to the equity ballgame by about 10 years. I am surprised it took them this long. And then they've got their equity roadmap all set for this coming year. And then this last one over here, I know you can't read it. I know it's really small, but this last little block over here says, becoming an anti-racist, anti-biased district. The goal of the Cambridge, Massachusetts schools is to become an anti-racist school district. And they consider equity to be a verb. The reason that they consider equity to be a verb is because equity is something that you have to do. I thought this slide was interesting. Culturally responsive engagement. Here we've got students over here. We have caregivers over here, which what word? Can anyone guess what word is missing on this slide? We have students, we have school leaders, we have community partners, we have district leaders, we have educators. What word is missing on this slide about all of the people who are going to impact the lives of students? Yes, parents, everyday therapists with the gold star. Parents, 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 parents. No, I'm going to guess that they called them caregivers. So that's nice. Now we are being introduced to the equity staff at the Cambridge, Massachusetts School District. And what I want you guys to notice is everyone that has a little orange thinger over their head, those are new positions. So it used to be Manuel is the chief equity officer. Leslie, I actually have Leslie's dissertation from Harvard, in which Leslie wrote a whole dissertation outlining exactly how they made the Cambridge, Massachusetts schools an anti-racist school district. And I have it somewhere. But now they're adding all sorts of new positions to the equity office at the Cambridge, Massachusetts School District. So I think that's really interesting. We've got Sam here, who kind of looks non binary, as a youth advocacy specialist. They've got training and curriculum specialists. They've got family engagement, which I actually don't mind family engagement if I'm honest about it. I think that can be okay. Um, you're right. Actually, who said there's no cis white males? So you're right. You're right. There's no cis white males. I didn't even realize that. That's hilarious. Yep. So lots of stuff going on there. And then, of course, one of the biggest priorities for the Cambridge, Massachusetts School District is in supporting and affirming everything the kids want. They're starting their events for these kids in middle school. And look at this. They're doing their this is CRLS is the main high school in the school district. They're doing an equity summit for kids. Kids can go to this equity summit and they can go to workshops. In fact, a lot of the workshops in the Cambridge, Massachusetts schools, the kids are actually leading. So that's really great. And then they've got youth engagement initiatives. Oh, look, SEL. Our favorite teen health surveys. Look at this. Working with SEL and health and wellness teams, student feedback on mental health interventions. So they're using student information to do mental health interventions with students in the schools. Maybe not notifying the parents. We don't know. Let's see what else. Oh, look, rainbow clubs. Rainbow clubs. So they're supporting and affirming LGBTQIA plus youth with rainbow clubs, create inclusive and affirming spaces for LGBTQ plus youth, kids from LGBTQ plus families, and allies, led by safe space advocates. They've got that community pride day that I already showed you about. That would be that community pride day right there. Let's see, that's not what I wanted to do. Back over here. So Community Pride Day had, check this out. So that one that I just showed you about with the adult industry sexpert and the drag queens and the queer activists and the straight up Marxists. So we now have some numbers. 100 plus students from grades 6 through 12 attended that Community Pride Day that I told you about. A ninth grader said, I felt an overwhelming sense of great community and really felt like I found people who make me feel like I belong. And they're doing it again, guys. Friday, June 2nd. Another Pride Day. It's going to be great. And by the way, I just want to mention one more time. They forbid parents from coming to the Pride Day presentations. It said it on their website. Hang on, I can show you. Oh, shoot. I just accidentally, hang on. I'm going to show this to you, though. Hopefully it comes up correctly, even though I spelt it wrong. Oh, it did. Excellent. It knew what I meant. But let me show you this. The registration says it's just for students. Can I still come as an adult? Adults are welcome to join us for the parent panel and food at 6 p.m. Parents and caregivers are invited to family activities at 6 as well. Workshops are for grades 6 through 12 only. That was on their Pride Day website. They explicitly forbid parents from coming to the workshops. I wonder why. Julie, thank you for the super chat. Karlyn, at some point, I'd love to share my story about why I started homeschooling my son in third grade. Back in 2015, after spending 2 years volunteering at his school, it was absolutely worth it. Julie, I would love to hear it. Can you send me an email at activelyunwoke@gmail.com and let me know how you'd like to share it? You're welcome to come on the stream. You can do a write-up. Maybe you could even do an article for Actively Unwoke. However you want to do it is fine. Or if you just want to tell me privately, that's fine too. But I would really love to hear that. And I think other people would benefit from it. So let me know what you would like to do. Let's see. They have, of course, educator and professional learning. Let's see what they've got on the docket. Oh, in 2021 and 2022, they had 3 courses about becoming an anti-racist and anti-bias educator. I showed you those courses on this channel because we did a FOIA request for them. So I have the files. They also did gender and intersectionality in middle and high school. I have the files for that as well. And good news, guys, they're going to do those again. So the 2022-2023 school year, they got Safe Space Advocates, Community of Practice. And of course, we're going to do Becoming an Anti-Racist and Anti-Bias Educator again. And I have all the files for what they did for that. So we already know what they're going to be teaching. And spoiler alert, it ain't good. They've got specific types. Oh, look at this. A specific department professional learning for special start. And they're going to do teaching with intentionality through an equity lens, special start, which is 3 full-day professional learning workshops. That's nice. Quote here. I used to think that diversity and equity training stopped at belonging and inclusion and just hit on a lot of buzzwords, and that as early educators, we didn't hold much power or any power in the systems at play. Now I think anti-bias work has to start in early education. So I will commit to better serve my students. All right. Some more uh professional development there, culturally conscious education, culturally responsive teaching. Other professional learning opportunities, you can do more anti-racism work if you wanted. And check this out. This was one of my favorites. The Cambridge, Massachusetts School District are going to be doing an elementary math equity lab in which they are asking the question, how might we disrupt racial inequity in elementary math classrooms? That's what it says. In Cambridge, Massachusetts, they are teaching the teachers that it is their job to disrupt racial inequity in elementary school math. This is a really good question. This says for public view. What is the private view? That would be something to FOIA. Additional educator engagement. They have race and affinity teams for their teachers. They've got all sorts of family engagement stuff. There actually wasn't a whole lot of there wasn't a lot of stuff that I was that raised an eyebrow for me in the family engagement section, if I'm honest about it. And again, I don't have a problem with them doing family engagement. I actually think that that's good. And here's their equity collaborative for 2023. They have over 20 projects. Some projects are led by students, like Rainbow and Pride clubs, events, 2 Black Summit events, Students of Color Coalition, African American Student Initiative, consent workshops, Good Trouble. They also have projects run by educators, and they have projects run by multi-school partners. And let's see, just some additional self assessment stuff, audit stuff, and then reminding everyone once again that equity is a verb. That means you always have to be doing it. And that's it. That's what's going on in the Cambridge, Massachusetts school district. And guys, I promise you, your school district probably has some sort of PowerPoint like this. So I would get my hands on it if I were you.